5, chapter 14, text 12. Do I need to read again? All right. Jivan Mriyamana Upadavati. I missed this line. Again. Sayadatutta Purva Shukritastada Araskara Kakatundadi Apunya Dhrumalata Vishodhapanavat Ubayartha Sunyadhravinan Jivan Vritan Swayam Jivan Mriyamana Upadhavati Saha, that condition is told. Yadha, when Dukta, exhausted, Purva, previous, Sukrita, pious activities. Tada, at that time, Kareshkara Kakatunda Adi. Name Kareshkara Kakatunda, etc. Apunya Dhruma Lata, impious trees and creepers. Visabuddha Panavat, like wells with poisonous water. Ubaya Artha Sunya, which cannot give happiness either in this life or in the next. Dravinan, those who possess wealth. Jivat Vittan, who are dead, although apparently alive. Swayam, he himself, Jivat, living, Vriyamanaha, being dead, Upadhavati, approaches from material accusation. Translation proposed by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Due to his pious activities in previous lives, the conditioned soul attains material facilities in this life. But when they are finished, he takes shelter of wealth and riches, which cannot help him in this life or the next. Because of this, he approaches the living dead, who possess these things. Such people are compared to impure trees, creepers, and poisonous wells. Please repeat. Due to his pious activities in previous lives, the conditioned soul attains material facilities in this life. But when they are finished, he takes shelter of wealth and riches, which cannot help him in this life or the next. Because of this, he approaches the living dead, who possess these things. Such people are compared to impure trees, creepers, and poisonous wells. The wealth and riches acquired through previous pious activities should not be misused for sense gratification. Enjoying them for sense gratification is like enjoying the fruits of a poisonous tree. Such activities will not help the conditioned soul in any way, neither in this life nor the next. However, if one engages his possessions in the service of the Lord, under the guidance of a proper spiritual master, he'll attain happiness, both in this life and the next. Unless he does so, he eats a forbidden apple, and thereby loses his paradise. Lord Sri Krishna therefore advises that one's possession should be given unto him. Yat karosi yat asnasi, yat dulosi tadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva vadarpanam. O son of Kunti, all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer, and give away, all as well as all austerities that you may perform, should be done as an offering unto me. Bhagavad Gita 9.27. Material wealth and opulence attained through previous pious activities can be fully utilized for one's benefit in this life and the next. If one is Krishna conscious, one should not try to possess more than he needs for the bare necessities. If one gets more than is needed, the surplus should be fully engaged in the Lord's service. That will make the conditioned soul, the world, and Krishna happy, and this is the aim of life. Om Namo Sorry. Om Ajnanatimbrandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Atisva Padantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Shri Yuta Partamanam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsa Sri Rupam Sagaragatam Sagaraganathanitam Tam Sajevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Shri Shadhamitamsya Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bhakto Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantana Mushtute Taptakanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Dishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Pancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Navaram Vishnupadaya Krishna Staya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pucharine Nirvishesha Sunyavari Paschatya Desakarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is we are in Canto 5, Chapter 14, where Srila Sukadeva Goswami is giving an explanation to all the analogies and allegorical statements, instructions Jada Bharat was making to King Raghugana. So, because in the final verse, or the final two verses of the previous chapter, Parikshit Maharaj is asking Sukadeva Goswami, it's very nice what you're saying, but can you explain what each of these means? So the context is that Jada Bharat's instruction is about how a merchant is trapped in the forest. If you count at least 28, 27 different he's experiencing, all bad elements. He's meeting the jackals, the tigers, mosquitoes. So everything has a meaning. What is this? So now he's giving an explanation of what is the meaning of the poisonous, impure trees, creepers, and poisonous wells. So basically, this was mentioned by Jada Bharata in the previous chapter. So now he's talking about what is the meaning of these three items. So the impure trees is compared to those people. So we'll read the translation again. So due to his previous pious activities in previous life, the conditioned soul attains material facilities in this life, but when they are finished, he takes shelter of wealth and riches, which cannot help him. Because of this, he approaches living dead who possess these things. So a pure tree, what is a pure tree? If you look at the 64 limbs of bhakti, one of the verse says that we should offer worship. Not like worship, but at least respect to trees like I don't know if any other trees are mentioned. Of course, Tulasi, that is by default. So they are pious trees which provide so much that we can use it for the service of the Lord. like when we went to Sukratala last, what was the tree that banyan tree? It's a huge banyan tree, 5,000 years old. So that under that tree was giving shelter to the Sutta Goswami, Naimisharanya, right? So such pious tree should be honored, respected, worshipped. Amla also, the fruit is very good for health. You can offer to the Lord and you can have it. But there are also trees. If you eat, they are impure trees. They give poisonous fruits. And if you take that kind of fruits, eventually you're gonna die. And creepers and wells, poisonous wells. You are very thirsty. You try to drink water from this well, and then you drink that, and then you get so much. Um, so, what's that? Ah. So if you see, even when the devotees, they are making a journey from Orissa, from Mayapur all the way to Orissa, right? It's a we are traveling by bus 12 hours, almost 12, right? 12 hours, 9 hours. But those days, to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Puri, devotees used to walk by feet. And the journey is so difficult, it is so dangerous. And that is what happened to Sanatan Goswami. He was walking, okay. Is okay? It's not casted. Ah. Yeah. So, as I was saying, Sanatan Goswami was walking through that journey and he drank some water which is not clean. I don't know if it's from the well or just a puddle and then he had some very bad skin disease. You see? So of course there is something that affected him physically. And of course pure devotees is a different thing. And he was getting this skin problem, when he was scratching his skin so much of itches and blood was coming. And Chaitanya and pus was coming. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't bother about that, whatever he was having in his skin, and used to embrace him so tightly. And Sanatana Goswami felt that how can I offend the Lord when my body is so dirty like that? And he wanted to kill himself. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chastised him that you cannot kill yourself. Your body is dedicated to me. How you can kill yourself? So anyway, that example what I'm saying is the water that you're getting in the forest is dangerous. And of course, by that embrace, all his problem was solved. So that is a pastime. Pure devotee do not have karma to go through that, but the Lord is showing that how He doesn't even bother if you have these things also. So this is the situation we are meeting in this verse. So now the verse we can see there's two things that are described in this verse. First, we are doing pious activities, and by pious activities, we are getting a chance to enjoy material enjoyment. So if you look at Bhagavad Gita, it says that Prapya Punya Kritam Lokan Utsitva Sasvate Samaha Suchinam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Brashta Vijayate. Krishna is speaking to Arjuna here. That the unsuccessful yogi, after many years of enjoyment on planets of the pious living entity, is born in a family of righteous people, family of rich aristocracy. So somebody who is unsuccessful in his yogic process, yoga brishta, when there is a break in that yoga, because he had put that effort to do something transcendental, right? He's getting an opportunity in his next life that he can have enjoyment on the heavenly planets. These are all the results of punya. Right. Of course, mostly is material punya. So then he kicks, after he's finishing his heavenly life, he comes down to earth, he born in a family of rich. So like yesterday only I was telling to Preeti Goranga, right? We were talking about these two brothers called Bhakti Bros in ISKCON. Very good looking, very much musically talented, famous, and then they must be very rich because I don't. If you're going all over the world just playing kirtan, that means you must have enough money, right, to do that. So this is actually an example of Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shri, where beauty is there, knowledge is there. Also born in Vaishnava devotee family. So everything is taken care materially that you do not need to worry about money anymore. Now you just worry about doing your bhakti. But what they are doing, they have a YouTube channel teaching people how to go to gym and become fit and muscle instead of teaching about really bhakti. So the opportunity is given to go towards bhakti, but we misuse that free will. Right? Example, I'm giving this to brothers. So this is an unfortunate situation. So that's why it's very dangerous that we should not even try to think that okay, if I die, I can enjoy in heaven, I can come back again, you know. So actually, among all those people who went to heaven, the most fortunate were the sons of Kubera, because they met the pure devotee and they got the curse. The curse of the pure devotee was greater blessing than the material enjoyment they were facing in heaven. And because of that curse, Krishna got bounded, no, by Mother Yashoda. But what is Krishna showing? That I am getting bound by my mother, but I am unbounding you. See? This is the power of the Lord. But how the connection came? Through the mercy of Narada Muni. So this is the thing. We are going through the heaven and doing all this enjoyment. And so Krishna is saying very clearly in the Bhagavad Gita that Bhogeshwarya Prashaptanam Taya Prahata Chetasam Vyavashadnika Buddhi Samodhavana Vidiyate. He says that in the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment, material opulence, who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Lord does not take place. This is the real goal of life, devotional service. But we get enamored with all the mosquitoes. What I mean by mosquitoes is, let's say you are, because I saw this reel, I'm quoting from the reel, one devotee quoted this. I was scrolling the reel. So he was saying that now let's say you're working towards Olympics. It's a big goal. No? It's more bigger goal than what normal material people are doing. You are just working for the benefit of your family. So let's say somebody is working towards the Olympics, which is representing his country. It's a very big goal in that context. Of course, it's not as big as being a devotee. So he is going to put all his day, time, effort, everything into that process of training, right? And let's say some mosquitoes are biting him. Is he going to bother about that mosquito so much? No, he's going to focus on that goal. But when you don't have a goal in life, higher goal in life, what's going to happen is you're going to focus on all the mosquito that comes. Mosquito will be buzzing. You'll be thinking, oh, what about this? What about this income here? What about that investment? What about that stock market? Then what? I mean, not only about income, anything else, any small things will be affected by the mosquitoes. You'll hear the sound, no? You'll go after that and you'll forget the goal of life. So similarly, using this example, the real highest goal of life. What is the highest goal of life? Huh? What is the highest goal of life? Of course, it's there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Etavan Sankhya Yogabhyam Swadharma Prinishtaya Janma Lava Parapumsham Ante Narayana. So it says here the highest perfection of human life is achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit, by practice of mystic powers, or by perfect discharge of occupational duty, is to remember the personality of Godhead at the end of life. This is the greatest goal of life, to remember the Lord. But the activities that we are engaging in the flowery language of the Vedas that we are engaging in. The next verse Krishna says, right? Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nishtraigunya Bhavarjuna. Nirdando Nitya Sattato Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. See, if you're attached to the flowery language of the Vedas, why it said flowers? Do you understand why he said flower? Any idea? Why Krishna is saying flowery language? If you go here, the fourth canto. Here again, here it says, may those who are envious of Lord Shiva, this is from the Daksha Prajapati offending Lord Shiva's chapter. May those who are envious of Lord Shiva are being attracted by the flowery language of enchanting Vedic promises, and who have thus become dull, always remain attached to fruitive activities. This is the curse of who? Nandi. Nandi is giving a curse to the Brahmanas because they were not, because Daksha was here offending Shiva very heavily, and the Brahmanas were not speaking out. So Nandi got very angry and he said that you all be attached to this flowery language of these Vedas. You do the karma kanda, you go to heaven, you go up, you go up down in this cycle. So if you see in the Prabhupada says that Vedic promises for elevation to higher planets, for a better standard of materialistic life, are compared to flowery language, because in a flower there is certainly an aroma, but that aroma does not last for a very long time. So flower is very fast. You can smell for a while. After that, the smell is finished. In a flower, there is honey, but the honey is not eternal. The honey will be taken away, right? So this flowery language of the Vedas, this going to the heaven and all, is all temporary. It's going to just finish like that. Which is why in the Gita again, Krishna says, Shruti vipariti phanate yadha stasyati nischala samadhav achala buddhis tada yogam avapsyasi. She says that, Krishna says, when your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas, when it remains fixed in the trance of self-realization, then you will have attained the divine consciousness. So this flowery language of the Vedas makes us somehow degrade and get attached to all this material wealth, because you are doing out of motive. You see, yesterday all of us went to the temple. We went for Sankirtan, selling calendars, books. But if you think about it, you look at all the people going to the temple, every single one of them, at least 99% of them, they are going there because they're materially motivated. Unless there is some material enticement, right? Unless there's some material enticement, why would anyone go to the temple? Same thing for the church, for the mosque. People are going after religion, religiosity, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. To get kama and moksha, forget it. They want kama and artha. They are coming to dharma just to get this kama and artha. Correct? But the real, you see this loka, the real use of this religiosity Dhanam cha dharmeka palam yato vai jnanam cha vijnanam anuprasanti grihesu yunjati kalevarasya mrityum na pashyati duranta viryam. Says that the only proper fruit acquired wealth is religiosity. This is the only proper fruit. This was mentioned in the purport today by Prabhupada. The wealth that you receive through this pious activity should be used for the service of the Lord, on the basis of which one can acquire philosophical understanding of life that eventually matures into direct perception of the absolute truth and thus liberation from all suffering. So this is the step by step. That wealth that you have, that dharma, it should be used to acquire the philosophical understanding for knowledge, and that should mature into the direct perception of the absolute truth, which is Krishna. So, but materialistic persons, however, utilize their wealth simply for the advancement of their family situation. They fail to see the insurmountable death will soon destroy their frail material bodies. This is how this wealth is misused. So people come into temple, everybody is there to, yeah, I mean, you definitely have to go to the temple, you have to worship the Lord, no doubt about that. But the goal is what? Your end goal is enjoyment. And if you don't get that enjoyment through the Lord is not giving you, you become very much disturbed and you even can give up that process. Many conversions are happening like that because Hindus have no understanding of their scriptures, their dharma. So now they see that I'm worshipping Balaji, nothing happening. Suddenly the Christian priest comes and tells me, you worship Christ, I'll give you money, will come. You convert. He's going to convert. So his goal is not Balaji. Right? His goal is money. Who is going to give that money? I'll worship that person. If they say these satanic people come and say, like, we worship Satan, he'll give you money, they might go there also. This is how weak our Sanatan Dharma is. Extremely weak. That is why we are having this situation of this Tirupati Lattu and all. Because you don't know what is the meaning of life. You do not know the purpose of life. You are just coming to temple for material purpose. You're going to get manipulated. So Vedic knowledge, is going to give the highest goal of life is to develop prema for Krishna, right? Love of God is the highest. In fact, Krishna says in the Lord Rishabhadev says, okay. एवं मन कर्म संप्रयुक्ते अविद्यायात्मनि उपदीयमाने प्रीति न यावन् मयि वासुदेवे न मुच्यते देह योगेन तावत्. So it is very important. प्रीति न यावन् मयि वासुदेवे न मुच्यते देह योगेन तावत्. So Rishabdev saying, when the living entity is covered by the mode of ignorance, he does not understand the individual living being and the supreme living being, and his mind is subjugated by fruitive activity. So now we are all trapped in this fruitive activity as we are going after this. Jai Shri Shri Radha. Right? We are all trapped in this. We are going after these impious trees, impious creepers, poisonous wells. Seeking money from them, because now I come to temple, I'm not getting the money. So now another guy is promising money to me. I'll go to him, and I'm going to destroy all my punya like that, right? So what Lord Rishabhadev says that therefore, Pritin Nayavat Mayi Vasudeva. Until one has love for Vasudeva, who is none other than myself, is certainly not delivered from having to accept a material body again. So when we talk about, I want to go back to Godhead, we all have devotees, we know the goal, right? We always say this. What is your goal, Prabhu? I want to go back to Godhead. Most of us will say that. Few of us will say that even if I go to hell also, never mind, I want to remember the holy name. That is very high level of pure devotion. So many of us will say that I want to go back to Godhead. But here Krishna says, unless you have Preeti, unless you got Preeti for me, Prema for me, you cannot go back to Godhead. This is the goal that we have forgotten. And we become attached to the goal of this flowery language of the Vedas. The goal of life is love. And love for who? For Vasudeva, Krishna. Why? Because if you see Nitya Krishna Prema, Sadhya Khabanoy, Sarvanadi Sutta Chitte Karayodhvai. That verse. What's it? Okay. If you understand this verse, pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the heart of the living entities. You have pure love that in your heart. It is natural. It is not something to be gained from another source. It is not something that I will train, I will acquire. It's not. It is within you, right? Whatever bad qualities that you have now, the smoking, the drinking, the eating meat, the womanizing, the illicit sex that you do, the cheating that you do, it is all acquired. If you look at the child, now you look at that boy who just took birth, right? Does he have any bad habits? You can see when you're born, the natural default setting, what you are. Are you smoking? Are you eating meat? Of course, you may say he's a baby, he can't do it. But still, if you think about it before, prior to even your birth, when you were in the womb of your mother, right? You were there for 9 months, sometimes 10 months, right? Sometimes 7. But sometimes Shastra says 10 months, right? So you are there. What is this default setting that is happening there? The default setting is you are protected by the Lord. You think about it. Is your mother doing anything inside to protect you? She don't know what's happening. Zero. She cannot do nothing. If something goes wrong to you, nothing can be done. Who is protecting you then? Krishna. That means before your birth itself, you analyze, you can see that you are protected by Krishna. And when you take birth, you forget that he is your protector. Rakshashyati Vishwaso. That's why one of the 6 divisions of surrender is that Krishna is my only protector and no one else. When you develop that mentality, that is one of the 6 surrenders that you're doing. So we have to understand that if he can protect you in the womb, which is the most dangerous place you can experience in your entire life, honestly, that womb situation is so dangerous. He's protecting you, right? Why you are forgetting his protection now? Why are you going after the protection of people and asking them for the wealth, begging them for your sense gratification? Because you have forgotten Vasudeva. You've forgotten the love that you had for him. So when the heart, so now he says that when the heart is purified by hearing the chanting, this love naturally awakens. That rust that is covering, it will get removed. Right? So Krishna Namadi Sitapti Avidya. The jaundice, when you have jaundice, you cannot taste sweetness. But when you keep taking sugar candy again and again, you get cured. So the name of Krishna and the form of Krishna, everything is sweet, right? But you have forgotten that. And now you're going after this temporary happiness of fruitive activity, karma kanda activity. So you're going after this pravritim cha nivritim cha dvividam karma vaidikam avartate pravritena nirvirtenashmate mritam. According to Vedas, there are 2 kinds of activity, pravritti and nivriti. Pravritti activities involve raising oneself from lower to higher condition of materialistic life, whereas nirvriti means cessation of material desire. Through pravritti activities, one suffer from material entanglements. This is what is happening to us now. But by nivritti activities, one is purified and become fit to enjoy eternal blissful life. So this is what we should be aiming for. That Krishna Bhakti. And what is that Bhakti? What is the symptoms of that Bhakti? It is mentioned in the Madhya. Sarva upadhi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena rishike shevanam bhakti ruchyate. So that Bhakti means engaging all our senses. Rishikena rishikesha. In the service of the Lord, personally Godhead, master of all senses, when the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme Lord, one is free from all material designation. Sarva upadhi, all your upadhis is finished. I am this, I am that, everything dissolved. If you know that my only identity is to serve the Lord, then why should I go after material wealth more than necessary? To serve these mundane people, to get more enjoyment, right? And once senses are purified, that puranatena nirmalam, you become purified, nirmala. And being employed in the service of the Lord. This is the one of the symptoms, the goal of bhakti. And if you go just 2-3 verses before, it said here that how that bhakti is. Anya bilasita sunyam. Jnana karmadi anavritam. Anukulena krishnana silanam. Bhakti uttamam. So that bhakti is when first class devotional service developed, one must be devoid of all material desires and knowledge. Anya abhilashita sunyam. All other material desires are sunya, including jnana, karma. So all these fruitive activities come in the realm of jnana and karma. When all these things are contaminating our bhakti towards Krishna, contaminating our goal, our preeti towards Krishna, and fruitive active actions. A devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. So this is what we see in the life of Sudama. When Sudama was told by his wife, you go and approach the Lord and ask for some help because we are suffering like anything. Sudama did not feel easy doing that. He felt his heart was burning because right now I am all my life serving the Lord with anya abhilasita sunyam, without any desire. Right? I am serving the Lord without any motive. Aituki apratihata. Costlessly I am serving. And now suddenly you are telling me to go and put a price to my bhakti. Like a merchant. You're asking me to do a business deal with Krishna. So in the journey walking to see the Lord, he was very uneasy. And until the last moment, he just couldn't compromise it. Because imagine if he had asked, just one time, Krishna, give me this. That Uttama Bhakti that he's experiencing, it becomes mixed, karma mixture bhakti, jnana mixture bhakti, right? He just cannot handle it. He just don't want to do it. That is a pure devotee. We are not in that platform, of course. We are many times we are approaching the Lord for. It's still better than going to do fruitive karma kanda activities. I might approach the Lord. What is that verse in the second? Akama sarva kama moksha kama udarati. And I might at least you approach the Lord. You will be purified that way. You know. Like example, that sometimes I was thinking in the temple, right? I was staying last time. So many times late for Mangalarti. So what motivated me to come early for Mangalarti? Of course, it's not always I have come also. I will get the Mridanga first to play. If I play Mridanga for half an hour, at least my skill for the day will improve. So it's not like I'm going to come here to see the Lord. It's like again materially motivated to get some improvement in Mridanga skills. Right. But the point is, even if you do that way and you keep doing, somehow you will get purified, and then you will not have that thought also. You will just. So Krishna says somehow or other you just catch my lotus feet. Somehow or other, don't. What is that verse? And somehow or other. Yena tena prakarena mana Krishna nivesha. It's mentioned in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also. So somehow or other you please do something to catch my lotus feet. That is Krishna's. So now back to Sudama, he just couldn't do it. Krishna saw that, okay, he is not asking. So what Krishna did, because if you see this verse, 325, is it 320? Hold on. 325, 37. Thus, because he is completely absorbed in thought of me, okay, this is like Sudama, completely absorbed in the thought of the Lord, the devotee does not desire even the highest benediction obtainable in the upper planetary systems, including Satyaloka. He's not interested even in the highest Satyaloka. He does not desire the 8 material perfection obtained by mystic yoga. Nor does he desire to be elevated to the kingdom of God. Even going to God here is not interested. That is the pure devotees. And so, yet, even without desiring them, the devotee enjoys even in his life all offered benedictions. But the Lord provides. That's why when Sudama, he came back, what did he see? He saw everything is transformed without even his asking. You see? So this is what we should desire for, this is what we should ask for, that highest, which is Krishna Prem. Because now if you think about it, now let's say I am living in a house which is 50 square feet. I don't know how small is that. I'm going to pray to the Lord, you give me at least 500 square feet. Okay, then Krishna gives. 500 I want 5,000 square feet. After I want 50,000. Then I want a bungalow. I want 2 bungalows. I want where Krishna is giving. So the point is, by satisfying your karma, right? Kama esha, krodha esha. By satisfying your karma is not satisfied. Okay, then Krishna says, okay, I will not satisfy your karma. I will take it away. I will not give you. Kama esha, krodha esha. What happens? Anger comes. Krishna is giving, you're not satisfied. Krishna is not giving, you're getting angry. Both ways also you're not happy. Right? So you only will be happy. So unless Krishna is waiting to see when you're going to ask me for prema bhakti, instead of asking all these long listings, when this guy is going to ask me for, when he starts asking little bit like that, of course even before that, he will send the pure devotee. Brahmanda, Brahmida Kona Bhagyavanti, Guru Krishna Prasad, by Bhakti Lata Beach. What was his name? 151. So this is the highest thing. You see, Brahman, according to the karma, all living entities are wandering through all the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary system, and some going down to the lower planetary system. Out of many millions wandering living entities, one who's very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. By the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of the creeper of devotional service. So you see, this is the greatest fortune that you can pray for, and this is what you should pray for. To meet a pure devotee of the Lord, to be in association of him, and to get this seed of bhakti, and instead of praying for all these other things. That's why a devotee, even if Krishna don't provide, he is not unhappy. This is the greatest fortune. You see, if you go to the verse, in the 5th canto. So we see here, one cannot establish a friendship with the Supreme Lord Ramachandra on the basis of material qualities as one's birth in an aristocratic family, one's personal beauty, one's eloquence, one's sharp intelligence, or one's superior race or nation. None of this qualification is actually a prerequisite for friendship with the Lord Sri Ramachandra. Otherwise, how is it possible that although we uncivilized inhabitants of the forest have not taken normal births, although we have no physical beauty, although we cannot speak like a gentleman, Lord Ramachandra nevertheless accepted us as friends. This is the highest thing you can get, friendship with the Lord. And your physical beauty, the Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shrivi, which come from material piety, does not help you in that at all. Because Krishna already has all these things. How you can attract him with your money? He has more than you. How you can attract him with your beauty, your strength? He has more than you. Only thing that you can attract him with is bhakti, your love. And how to do bhakti is also not just like, hey, I'm bhakti. Bhakti is a scientific process that has found in the scriptures, which is elaborated by Srila Rupa Goswami, which is taught by Srila Prabhupada. We should learn bhakti through the guidance of the pure devotees. Then it's possible. So now you see here that one cannot establish friendship with the Supreme Lord on the basis of material qualities, right? So if you compare this position with Daksha Prajapati, previously I gave example of Chandra. So much of opulence he had. He had so much of opulence and power and wealth and beauty that he went and kidnapped his guru's wife and had a child with her. You see how crazy things you do. If you look at Daksha Prajapati, very proud. Brahma has given him benediction to do the yajna and all this. And he was so envious against a pure devotee, Lord Shiva. So what is the point of all this? If you see this verse, what's the point? You got all these things. Vidya tapo vitta vapur vaya kulai satam gunais sabdhir asatam methare smrtav hatayam Vritamana Durdrisha Staptam na Pashyanti hi dharma bhuyasam. Although the six qualities, education, austerity, wealth, beauty, youth, and heritage are highly elevated, one who is proud of possessing them becomes blind, and thus he loses his good sense and cannot appreciate the glories of a great personality. It's like a snake wearing snake has a jewel on his head, right? Jewel is so bright and shining, but the snake himself cannot see it. He cannot understand he has that jewel. So Daksha, this is from the Daksha Prajapati. Yeah, all these qualities. What is the use? It was so offensive to the pure devotee of the Lord. And he fell down. After that, his head was replaced, right? Cut. So this is a very dangerous position. That's why a devotee, he's afraid of even getting all this wealth, getting all this beauty. You don't want to be trapped in this. So if you go back to the verse, 519.7, very nice verse, the purport from the Chaitanya Bhagavat. So in Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya Kanda, Kolavecha Sevakara Deha Bhagya Simha Brahma Sivakandeyara Dekhiya Mahima Madhya. Dane Jhane Pandite Krishnare Nahi Pai Kevala Bhakti Revasa Chaitanya Gosai. So now this was very beautiful. Behold the great fortune of the devotee Kolavecha. Lord Brahma and Shiva shed tears upon seeing his greatness. One cannot attain Lord Krishna by any amount of wealth, followers, or learning. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is controlled only by pure devotion. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a very sincere devotee. So this verse is regarding Kolavecha Sridhar. Kolavecha Sridhar, his only business was to sell pots made of skin of the banana trees. Very poor. He is doing business selling the banana leaves, banana stem. Maybe he might earn $1 in a day. So whatever income he had, he used 50% for the worship of Mother Ganga, and with other 50% he provided for his necessities. On the whole, he was so very poor that he lived in a cottage and had broken a roof with many holes in it. He could not afford brass utensils, and therefore he drank water from an iron pot. Nevertheless, he was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So you see, his house had a broken roof. He didn't have money to fix. No, it was raining, the water will be coming inside, but he will be just chanting. Night time he will be chanting also. People used to think that he is so hungry that he cannot say, he's just shouting Krishna, 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 but actually he's hungry and he just couldn't tolerate his hunger. But actually he was so much deep in absorption of the Lord. And the Lord used to come and associate with him and play with him, make fun of him. Before the Lord took sannyas, he used to visit him. And he said he will forcefully snatch away the banana from him, banana root, banana, the leaf and the stem. And he will be so angry. He said, I myself don't have anything and you're taking away from me. He said, then the Lord will say, you are a liar. You are so rich. If you go to your house, you'll be hiding your wealth. I know. You're acting like a poor man, but you're actually a very rich man. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was making fun with him like that. And he will used to fight back. And then after that, he realized he cannot fight back. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so big size, so strong, right? He said, okay, you take, you don't disturb me. You go. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to. So how rich he is, he's so poor, but how rich he is that the Lord came and forcefully took away. And how rich Duryodhana was, that the Lord was not interested in his whatever offerings, whatever was given. But the Lord was interested in a poor man's offering. So when the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing the Mahaprakash Leela, he was showing so many forms in the 24 hours. I think, 24 hours. Kolavecha Sridhar came in front of him and he told Kolavecha, now tell me what you want. You want wealth? I'll make you rich. You don't need to suffer anymore. He said, no way, I don't want any. I don't want this wealth. If I have this wealth, then I will fall down. I will get rich. I will proud, everything. I'd rather be a poor man like this. So it's not easy to pray like that. So that much. So different devotees were displaying different opulence. Right. The Goswamis, Kolavecha Sridhar, they were showing bhakti, but in very poor poverty. But they're not poor. There were devotees like Yudhishthira, Prahlad Maharaj, Bali Maharaj, because Bali Maharaj gave everything. But they were showing the opulence. The point is, the devotee is neither attached to opulence or poverty. He is attached to the Lord. If the Lord wants me to be rich and serve Him, I will serve Him that way. Yudhishthira wanted to renounce everything after the war, go to the forest, and be a poor man. Krishna says, no, you use that wealth and you serve me. So the satisfaction of Krishna is more important than I want to be a rich man or poor man. And in the Goswami's case, he wanted them to be Tyaktva, Turnam, Asesha Mandalapati, Shrenim Sada Tuchavat. They were Mandalapati, super rich, billionaires. Raghunath Das Goswami was like a billionaire at that time. Even Indra, like Indra's wealth he had. But Shrenim Sada Tuchavat, he spit at this wealth. He don't want. And then what they did? Bhuktva Dina Ganeshako Karanaya, Kopina Kantashako. They were wearing kopins and wandering around Vrindavan, crying, where is Krishna, where is Radha? And they were writing all these literatures. They renounced everything. Tyaktva Aturnam Asesha Mandalapati, Senim Duktva Dina Ganeshako Karanaya. Karanaya, out of mercy for us, everything given up. Living in such abject poverty, but they are not poor. They were extremely wealthy with Krishna Prem. And they were doing so much tapasya, so much austerity for our benefit. Nana Sastra Vicharane Kanipuno Sadharma Samstaprato. They were studying various Sastra. They were churning. You try to open the book, I tell you, your headache, you'll get a head spin. I was trying. I was trying to see the wisdom library. The English was so terrible. I was like, what is, your head will explode. It's not terrible, of course. It is 18th century English. Cannot even understand. And then you start to appreciate what has Prabhupada done for us. The English that Prabhupada has written is so poetically beautiful. That's how beautiful Prabhupada writing is, that we get immersed in the Srimad Bhagavatam so easily. And you try to go yourself and find out. You cannot find out. You'll get frustrated. What is this? What they are saying. So, Nana Shastra Vicharane Kanipuno Sadharma Samstaprago Lokanam Hitakarino. For the Lokanam Hitakarino, they came to take away the misery of out of mercy, compassion. They have composed all this. They left everything and just for us. And imagine we don't read the books, then how? How we will get this wealth? We will go after the other wealth, material wealth. If you don't come to the spiritual wealth and immerse yourself, you will be lost. And now, next point. So they've given up everything, right? So anybody can give up, right? Anybody can wear kopin, walk around like a, what is that? Vairagya? Monkey. Marketer Vairagya. So many people also in Vrindavan wearing kopin, doing blessings like that. And then at night time smoking bidi, having illicit sex. It's not just because they look renounced, that is the qualification. What is the qualification? Tyaktva Turnam Asesha Mandalapati Sainim Sadatu Samat Bhuktva Dina Ganeshako Karanaya Kopina Kantasto Gopi Bhava Rasamrita Tila Hari Kallola Magno Gopi Bhava. They were Magna means they were absorbed in Gopi Bhava. Because they are the highest stage of Gopi Bhava, Krishna Prema, they are renounced. They are not renounced just to show that I am renounced. That kind of renunciation won't work out. Because they were really drowning in the Krishna Bhakti. Nothing else mattered to them. And that is why they can give it to you. Right? Because unless you have it, how you can give it? Right. Okay, now let's say now we meet a new devotee. We are all initiated. Because we are initiated, we can tell them take initiation. We have come to that level. But we are not full time. We don't have the realization. We won't be, when we talk to someone, we won't tell, give up, surrender. People like Tati Guru, they will tell. Because they're already having it, right? You understand what I mean? So here the Goswamis, you must understand the level of Gopi Bhava Rasamrita Kallola Magno Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyo Sri Jiva Gopa. They were so absorbed in this wealth of Krishna Prem. They were absorbed in this fortune. This is the greatest fortune. Such great fortune they have that even the touchstone was not useful for Sanatana Goswami. He put it in the dustbin. right? I was not interested in the touchstone. So you do understand by knowledge only, through by hearing. Unless you keep hearing this is the highest, you will not be attached to going towards the highest. You will be attached to whatever level you are. Now let's say, how old are you? 42. I'm 37. These boys are 7 years old. Now imagine life is a steps. Life as a staircase. Every step, let's say 100 steps are there. If you are in the, now that boy is 5 years old, right, 6 years old. He's going to think about what's going to happen in the seventh step. He's not going to think about what's going to happen in my 15 steps when I'm go through my, is it 10 standard in 15? I'm going to go through 10 standard. He's not going to plan for that. 10 standard, I'll be doing like this. Now somebody is in the 15th step. He's not going to think that at 35 years old, I'm going to ask for a promotion from my boss. You know, why you only going to see, what you see is the immediate next step. And now let's say we are 30s, 40s, 30s, 40s. We're not going to think, yeah, we will think like 60 years old, I should be retired, something. But you don't have a concrete plan what's going to happen that time. Because your vision is limited. But if you have knowledge of scriptures, knowledge of Bhakti Shastra, you get the idea of what is the 100 steps now. Your vision broadens like anything. You know what is going to be the 100 steps, and you know after the 100 steps where you're going to go. And you're going to plan every single step towards that 100 in the right way. That is how your life will change. If you're going to get absorbed in the knowledge of the scriptures, in the association of devotees, then your goal, your priorities, everything shifts. You mold your life in a different way. You're going to give up that goal of, attending this and that wealth and showing off to my relative, I have this and I have that. How long you'll be happy with that? That is why when we see the story of Kulavechar Siridhar here, he was not interested in all these things. So the conclusion is that one cannot attain shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna or Sri Chaitanya Gosai through material opulence. That shelter is attainable only by pure devotional service. Anya Vilasita Sunyam. We were quoting this verse earlier. So we have to desire that we should come to this point of Anya Vilasita Sunyam, Jnana Karma Dhyana. At least have the desire, then work towards it and take shelter of the devotees, take their instruction and move step by step like that. So I think I have covered most of the points. So I think that's all. So I'll stop the class here. If there's any comments, questions, or more points to add.
Not just to say that those who are belonging to family, we are very nice in our people. They are not devoted, they are ignorant.
Okay.
So they are ignorant, not devoted.
Yeah. Unless they meet a pure devotee and somehow they change in the, like even myself, the first time I came, of course I came at a young age, but I lost the process at least for 6-7 years. And what made me to come back is material distress. So coming to the Lord just to solve the material problem around 19 years old. Once the problem was solved, disappeared another 2 years. But then again, material distress came at 22, came again. Luckily, I read the books. This time I was given the books to read, and by hearing Prabhupada's lectures, then that, and of course Prabhu's classes and all the devotees classes, association. I remember I was with Vishambar Prabhu at the time. We used to talk, he used to explain many things. So with the devotee association only we can alleviate. If not, once the desire is fulfilled, we go. So devotees are very compassionate that they are trying their best to give their association to the people. Somehow to help them to come to the right goal of life. What is that? Tirupati.
many of
Hmm. Hmm.
that is also not there. Even our communication member, diagram member,
Hmm.
they are not going to say that we need to pay tax to government.
Hmm.
That doesn't mean necessarily that is law.
Yes.
Here, it's not only what.
Yes.
Otherwise, it should be.
So they are in the beginning stage. I'm thinking one of lifetime we also would be like that. We would have been a gyro member, but we never went to temple. The next life, next like that. It's just somehow we are trying to get everybody get the sukriti. Somehow they get in touch with devotee, they got sukriti. Like yesterday, devotees were called beggars outside Perumal temple. But the devotees don't care because they know that if some guy buys something here, like some book, something will transform. So just get in touch somehow. I don't care getting any chastisement, also, doesn't matter. But let them somehow get connected to the process. We also would have started in one lifetime. Maybe we give 10 cents. Next life, maybe $1. you know, so like so we are very fortunate, especially now because of Prabhupada. There's no other doubt.
Because they regulated this tax. So that is not possible.
Yeah. Right.
Lord, so being Lord himself, he raised 100 sons, but at the end of life, he had like again, outlook, his philosophy came from there, and then Devrata son Sumati also followed the same. So, how to understand that? Why? That is one question. Then Laksh Prajapati also, like the offended Laksh Shiva, but Lord gave him that power, competence to do Prajapati job. And then same Manvantara, he became like Pracheta's son, and he again he was given Lord appeared in gave him competence to do Prajapati.
Hmm.
So how to understand that? Why these things are? And then Rajarsi also, like so many Rajarsis, they used to go, like Prithu Maharaj also, Achi Prithu Maharaj, they used to go to Vana, the Brahmasta, Sannyas, and then they used to do Ashtanga Yoga, and then by Virajka also, Vedanta, and so many Ashtanga Kriya they're doing, and they're leaving their Prana, right?
Mm-hmm.
These things are so many flavors in Bhagavatam, so how to understand that?
Yeah. So you follow what Prabhupada wanted. Example like Nectar Devotion also says you worship Ganesh, but Prabhupada no need. You understand? You cannot just pick on something on Bhagavatam and try to follow that also. You cannot follow Rishabh Dev's path. But it's not recommended in Kali Yuga. So Bhagavatam is not only addressing people of Kali Yuga, you see. He's talking about everything for everyone. It's the knowledge of the entire absolute truth. So everything will be present there. Every flavor will be present there. Just like the medicine, every medicine is there in the hospital, but the doctor only knows what to prescribe to you, right? So you have to take shelter of that spiritual master and see what he prescribes. That is what you have to do. And whatever stories you see in Bhagavatam, you don't need to be confused because everything is by script only. Krishna is using Daksha to show this lesson. Various lessons the devotee is put in that situation. Bhishmadev is a pure devotee. But he was put in a bed of arrows just to show what happened to someone who doesn't speak when there is sin. But Bhishmadev is a pure devotee, see. He's not that you think he doesn't know. Because the Lord made it like that to teach us. So the pastimes of the Lord in the Bhagavatam is transcendental. It's always eternally happening in every different universe. Hmm.
Was there. So, not that everybody can you should follow taking from our
5:14. Like Prabhu shared the other day. The purport, the verse. Having summarized the teachings of Jada Bharat, Sukadeva Goswami said, "My dear King Parikshit, the path indicated by Jada Bharat is like a path followed by Garuda, the carrier of the Lord. And ordinary kings are just like flies. Flies cannot follow the path of Garuda. And to date, None of the great kings and victorious leaders could follow the path of devotional service, not even mentally.
What about the sannyas? Probably. There are so-called sannyas.
Okay, so I'll read. So Manusyanam Sahasrestu Kaschidadisita Yatatam Api Siddhanam Kaschid Man Vedi Tattva. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. The path of devotional service is very difficult, even for the great kings who have conquered many enemies. Although these kings were victorious on the battlefield, they could not conquer the bodily conception. There are many big leaders, yogis, swamis, and so-called incarnations who are very much addicted to material mental speculation and who advertise themselves as perfect personalities, but they are not ultimately successful. The path of devotional service is undoubtedly very difficult to follow, but it becomes very easy if the candidate actually wants to follow the path of a Mahajan. Mahajanasya yena katastapana. In this age, there is a path of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who appeared to deliver all fallen souls. The path is so simple and easy that everyone can take it by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Kalau Nastiva, Nastiva Gatiranita. We are being very satisfied that this path is open by the Krishna conscious movement because many European American boys, girls are taking this philosophy seriously and gradually attaining perfection. So, it's Mahajan's path. Like you see in the recent incident, not about Tirupati, recently, as you all know, there's a preacher called Dushyant Sridhar, Sri Vaishnava preacher, where he's called a big lectures, big verses, Vedas, Puranas, Upanishad, everything in fingertips. But he released a book called Ramayana, according to him. Of course, it's mostly correct only, but it's just a more simplified version of Ramayana. Fine, no problem. But in that book, he says he discussed with the scientists, and that scientist and him dated the Ramayana to be 5000 BC. Sorry, 7000 BC. Is this correct? You think Ramayana happened 7000 years ago? If you look, I did a video, right? If you analyze that, all the verses, Ramayana happened 18 million years ago, approximately 18 million years ago. And here's such a big Vedic scholar who is not quoting the Mahajans. If he just quoted his Mahajan Acharyas, none of his Acharyas agree that it is 7000. Why he went and quoted the scientists and took the wrong path? Simple thing, right? It is said that Rama ruled for 13,000 years. If he was 7,000 years, he appeared 13,000 years. Now he should be still ruling. So you have just to contradict this point, you have to contradict so many points. And you know how he contradicted that point? He said in Mahabharata, there's a conversation in the forest. They were supposed to be in the forest for exile 13 years. So Bhima, in one conversation with his brother Yudhishthira, he told that, my dear brother, why not we take 1 month as 1 year? And by 13 months, we can go back. Okay, firstly, he suggested this. It is not even valid. Yudhishthira didn't follow it, right? If it was valid, Yudhishthira would have followed it. He said, yes, correct. Let's do 13 months. Yudhishthira said, no, we have to do the 13 years no matter what. And after that 13 years is finished, even you don't want to fight, I will fight. I don't care, you all are there. I will fight. That is why Yudhishthira is in the Yuddha, he is very stira. So, he's quoting this verse and he's saying, and he's using here. So, we have to take less like 1 month can be taken as 1 year. Like that, we can take here also in Ramayana. What speculation is this? Absurd speculation. So, that means, okay, that is true. Sita was kidnapped for 1 year, right? 10 months. So, how you calculate that? 10 days? Just 10 days, she was kidnapped. So it's like totally doesn't make sense. Why? Because you have taken shelter of not the Mahajans. And if a devotee does these things, then what is the use? Right? If you see this sloka, the Bhagavatam, it's in 514 only. Sorry, 518. This is a verse for the Vedic scholars. Vadanti Vishwam Kavayas नास्वरं पश्यन्ति चात्यात्मविधो विपश्चिता तथापि मूयन्ति तवाजमायया सुविस्मितं कृत्यं अजं नतोऽस्मितम्. Oh, unborn one, learned Vedic scholars who are advanced in spiritual knowledge certainly know that the material world is perishable. Many of them know. Even Dushan Sridhar know, obviously. As do the other logicians and philosophers. They, in trance, they realize the factual position of this world. And they preach the truth as well. They're preaching this mostly, right? The world is false. They come to Brahman, mostly the Mayavadi scholars. Yet even they are sometimes bewildered by your illusory energy. This is your wonderful pastime. Therefore, I can understand that your illusory energy is very wonderful. I offer my respectful obeisance. So the Lord bewilders them because why? The boat of the spiritual master is going to guide you across the material ocean. You're not taking shelter of that. You're not taking shelter of Mahajanas. Obviously, you will be illusioned. Understand? This is why we just cannot just listen to simply some scholar talking this, that scholar talking this. No, we have to listen to Mahajan. We should listen to people who are repeating the Mahajan exactly. If not, you will be bewildered also. That's why we don't want to listen to Bhagavad Gita from people who are not adhering to the words of the Mahajan. So this is the thing. Okay, so I think it's nothing else.
It was Sudaya. This is right.
Sir,
Yes.
yes.
You will build it. You think about it now. It's contradictory itself.
Yeah. What is contradiction is in our minds.
Everything is at night. Follow the blueprint of the night attack.
Yes. Okay, we'll stop here then. Jai Grandra Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
Jai.